Hi, hello. Let me welcome you to the stream. We've got some pretty big plans for today, and I'll just get to it. But first, let me take a look and see if everything's alright on YouTube and also on Twitch. Because we are doing the multi-stream right now, and it puts some stress on my machine. But don't worry, I've been struggling with my OBS for a while. But it should work fine. At least I think so. Okay, we're live on Twitch, and that's great and cool. And what about YouTube? Oh, and here's the tricky part, because on YouTube it shows me that we are not. And on my OBS it says that's otherwise. Okay, maybe just a quick refresh will fix that. No, it did not. Oh, it's very strange. We've got two transmissions. Okay, I'll just... yeah, that's the upcoming one. And so, let me quickly... so something... okay, let me just quickly remove this one. Yep. It's very weird, but okay, it's fine. We're still live on YouTube. So, are we? And yes, I guess that we are. Oh, and on YouTube we did start a stream, but with nothing in it. I don't have any tags, I don't have the game title, almost description is empty. Yeah, that's great. So we did start on the wrong stream. Don't worry, just let me quickly fix that. And I'll type something here. And after that, I'll tell you my plan for today. Is everything alright? Nope, not exactly. I've got a special playlist for this livestream series. And it's Godot 3D Horror Series, okay? And in the game title, we should pick Godot Engine. Yep, and the title is alright, so we can save that. And I believe that the transmission is fine, also on Twitch. Hello, it's nice to see you guys here. Okay, and what's the plan for today? I've got it all noted here. So, at first, we'll update some assets as we did in the yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. We've got some new cool assets and fixes to the old ones, like for example this new tunnel made with concrete. We've got some fixes to the frame that will let us easily attach the door, and the door system with the logic to open it is the thing that we'll try to make later on, also with the logic to drop items inside of our lab, and we will try to detect them, what was dropped here in this small box. It looks like a mailbox, but don't worry, we'll try to improve it later. Just adding the logic for it will be enough for now. And if there will be still time, we'll try to add some lighting system inside the initial tunnel, and that it's on the opposite side of my cave. The old one, the dirt one. And it's here. We'll try to add some lighting to it and remove the editing, the lighting that is above just for the editing purposes. Okay, so that's all fine, but quickly. I will need to... Oh, and also, there is one important thing. I just yesterday after the stream, I did some improvements to my OBS, and for now it should capture everything. So when I open the game window, it should stream it. And when I add another node, it also should stream it. As you were before, or maybe yesterday on my stream, we've got some issues with that, and my OBS for some reason didn't want to put the game window for you, and I could see that and you did not, and that was weird, but I just fixed it with adding the screen as the OBS source. Okay, just let me quickly get the models. That's the GLB models, and as I did before, I'm going to download it here. Okay, I'm going to download it, but I hope that it won't break my stream as it did yesterday, because that's what happened yesterday. After simply downloading the assets and adding it to Godot, the OBS just crashed for some reason, and I hope that it won't happen again today. Is it downloading? Oh, it should right now. The models. And I'm going to delete it. To not make any duplicates. If there is someone on the other side, please let me know if the music is not too loud. If you are on the Twitch, because on YouTube you should not hear that, and that was intentional, as I'm still not I'm still not convinced that for YouTube it will not matter. Okay, I've got the GLB models, and cross the fingers as I'm just going to place it. Where are my models? They are here. Okay. GLB models. Oh. Okay. For now, let's turn off the screen as the Godot is on the edge of crashing. I'm simply importing a whole folder with almost 1 gig of data, of models, because I'm too lazy simply to put them one by one. Okay, we've got some warnings, but it didn't crash. Okay, great, but to see the result we still need to reopen the Godot. So let's rerun it. 1 second and the screen will be back on. Okay, we are back live. Great. And it didn't crash this time. Awesome. So let's go to the other tunnel and see if that lab object, that lab model has been improved, as the door frame should be different and should match our tunnel this time. And is it? It's way closer. Okay. What about this part? Okay. It's way up. So let's put it somewhere down. And what about this part? Is it really? Nah, I don't think so. Maybe I just did something wrong. Oh, no, because this part looks different. Maybe it did not. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll try to take a look at it later on. It's weird. It should be updated. Okay, don't worry. That's just some simple assets, and we won't waste time on them. Okay, so what we do have in plans for today, we've got the door logic with the option to open them. And let me quickly take a look at what do we have on YouTube and also on Twitch, if everything's alright. And it looks like it does. It is alright. Okay, so I've got a scene with the door, and this door already has some GDscript with it, where I just simply animate the player by play, close and open, and that's when current animation is not equal anything. Okay, and what do we have in our player? In our player, the mouse, the door, interact with the door. That's some old code that I did just for forcefully holding and grabbing the door, and that was okay, but I wasn't very happy with the result, as you should grab with your mouse the door, and you should forcefully, by moving the camera, simply open them. But it was too much hassle for the player to deal with, so I simply added the animation. And where is that? Mouse L. I believe it. Nope, that it's not, because that's the old logic still. Where is that? Shift. God damn. The camera, the raycast. Collision, okay. The head bob. Retain interaction is holding object. Okay, that's for the grabbing objects and moving them with us. We'll also try to use it today. For a couple of days I moved to adding lots of assets, and I simply wasn't in this GDscript for about a week now. Yeah, okay. No matter, it should work anyway. We'll get into it later on. Key space, okay, that's just for jumping to the L. You should see where I'm doing something in my project, so the input map, and it should be key E. That's the option to open the door. So where is that? Oh, Godot, please don't crash. Just please, don't crash. And in the meantime, I'll check something on the other screen. You know, I need to control if everything is still alive. Okay, and it should be. YouTube says that the stream is excellent, at least the bitrate for it. God damn, what's going on? It did crash. Can't do anything. God, please help. Okay. I'll just forcefully crush it. Please close. Please. Don't do that to me. God damn. Maybe that's due to the asset import that we did. Some import. Oh, okay. It's alright or not? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, okay, so the project settings are still, the pop-up for it was still on, but I couldn't see that on my Windows. That's real. Okay, it doesn't really matter. Let's type key.e, and we've got the key, and it's in the player. It's the key code, key E. quickly take a look at that. That's for the demo, and I don't want that. Yeah. That's the demo from Terrain 3D. And it's here in the player interact, because we've got another script, and the player interact is attached to, yeah, okay, it should be attached here in my Raycast 3D. That's why I couldn't find that key E just pressed. Okay, a few days outside of GDscript and you can forget where the things are. Old way of opening doors, maybe better. Yeah. My comments. Okay, and it is better. So I'm just going to remove that, because that's the better way to open the door, at least for my game. Okay. It looks awesome. So here in my 3D, in my main, let's jump over here and let's add some assets. Or maybe not in here, but in the building. Yeah, maybe let's add them in the building, and also in the concrete tunnel, to not make a mess inside of the main scene. Okay, so here we've got some doors. At least there should be some. No, that's just the wrong name of from the blender, so it doesn't really matter. And in here, let's add another scene, and that should be door. The door, and we've got one, and maybe let's add another one. Okay. Should be somewhere here, and in here. Are they slightly bigger than the frame? And yeah, they are. Oh god, great. What about the scale? Is the scale okay? Let's just, let's make it 0.98 or even lower. 95. God, they're wrong. Yep, they are. Or maybe the assets used for the door, that's the door, and that's the door lab. Now we should add the door lab here. Where the door and the door lab. Okay, so the door lab here is, I believe it's an old asset, and the right one, the updated one, should be here in my folder door, or maybe doors. We've got 3 assets with the same name. Oh god, please help. Let's see if they're, yeah, the size is, yeah, the size is different for almost any of the door. So let's just close this scene. And for this scene, we'll add the new door. And I believe that this one should be from here, or yeah, it should be from here. Let's add it like that. And are they any different? Are they? The handle is on the other side, okay. The size, just by the size, the new one looks like they're a bit bigger. So let's add the third door from simply the door. And what we'll have here? And they are smaller. God damn. That's not easy. Let's check room door. And the size is way different. The concrete door is also very different. Not very happy with that. So, you know what? Maybe let's just forget about the door for now. Because I don't want to add some doors that are not ready. As we'll simply need to, we'll be forced to just move them around our lab, and that won't be a very good use of our time. So yeah, let's just remove those doors from here. But let me quickly show you that they should work. So when we run the project and we are inside the game, and when we move, oh, the collision is missing from our tunnel. Not this one, but the concrete tunnel. Yeah, it's way different as it was simply rotated. Collision, and it's here. Yep, let's just delete it, and here create collision as the child, and let's check. And here we are. And what about this one? Okay, and simply by pressing E from this distance it won't work, but when we are here, and they don't work. Do they have any collision? Nope, they do not. So let's add it here. Okay, and we'll be forced to create a new scene from this one and create another collision, but okay. You simply have to believe me that they should work. Even on one of my previous streams I did show you that they work by just simply pressing A on the E key on your keyboard. So okay, let's move to another step from my plan. We've got the pickup logic. Okay, so another one that we have, it should be here. We've got the basket. Yeah, we've got the basket, and inside of it we've got the area. That's something that I've been working on recently. We've got the area 3D that has some collision, and this collision shape, this area 3D, will detect what's inside of this basket. And when I've got my cubes, the cubes will have some names, and when we add them to the basket should detect them and tell us what was put in the basket. And with that logic, we'll be able to create something when inside of our lab we'll have that basket, and it will detect what our player has put inside of this mailbox. We can just call it for now, that's the mailbox. Okay, so let's simply create that basket, or maybe let's add some cubes inside the main scene. Here in the lab, let's add at least one cube. Okay. It should be in here. Okay, let's run the project and let's see if it's there, because that's the rigid body, and it should be easily moved by our character. Okay, maybe let's add the collision detection, the bug here, and visible collision shapes. Okay, and inside here in the cube, we've got the collision shape, okay. It's a bit too small, or maybe not. Yeah, I believe it should be okay. Let's go there one more time. We've got our raycast, and let's see what will happen. Oh, yeah. And this time, I can simply drag it and drop it somewhere. Even throw it. Okay. We'll need to later deal with the things that it's just too far from the player. But for now, let's simply do something with it. Okay, the door doesn't have any, there's no collision in here. Okay, let's drop it. And let's see what will happen. It gets stuck. What's going on? Okay, let's go to the other side. Okay, we've got a cube here. That's why I did mention at the start that we need to make this hole bigger and the slide more accurate for the items to fall on the other side. But okay, that basket just was a training ground for me, and later we'll simply make it more like a full box that the items will slide into. So that platform here, that item will get stuck, is not going to last long with us. Okay, so what's going on Twitch? It's doing great, and on YouTube, it's also doing great. Nice. But is it? Yeah. I can see on my screen that it's okay. It should be. Awesome. So, we've got this item, so maybe let's... Can I do something with it crazy? It's okay. We can close it, and with that GDscript, player interact, is colliding with the door, or maybe with the pickable. That L stands for my left mouse on the button, on the mouse, left button on the mouse. The hold object. It should be here. It's holding. It's the pull force. Okay. Throw weakening force. Yeah, I just did some weakening force to the throw, because when your character will throw it with the swing of your camera, it could fly really far away, and that could be a problem in my game. The collision layer should be placed to something different, because you could do crazy stuff with this collision. For example, you could place it under your character, and you simply fall off to the sky, and that's not what we are going to have inside our game. So the collision layer was changed to 8 whenever we hold a item. Okay, when it's just released, we should drop it. Clover rotation. Let's get back. Okay, the clover transition. I'm just remembering stuff for now, because we did it like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, or maybe even 3 weeks ago. Clover rotation. Okay, let's get back to the main scene, and in here we'll add the basket, just simply to check if that logic still works. Basket to fill. Let's move it up and place it somewhere on the ground. Okay. And in here, what is the logic for the basket? Basket to fill. We're detecting something with area 3D, what was placed inside our basket, and we've got cube 1, cube 2, and cube 3. Because I'm checking if the basket was properly filled with the items that I need. So when there will be a cube 1, cube 2, and cube 3 in it, then it should turn on the flag for me. Yeah, and print filled or not filled. What are you making? Hi, hello. It's nice to see you here. We are making a 3D horror game for now. As you can see, there's not a lot of in it. Just let's quickly switch to the game and to the main scene. Now, it's here. Let me quickly show you what's the progress for now. We've got some water shader and a nice terrain made with Terrain 3D. Very cool plugin. I highly can recommend you this one. Just good here. What are you making? Hi, hello guys. It's just a simple horror 3D game made in Godot. Trying to do cool stuff with 3D in Godot, as I was, previously I made cool stuff with 2D in Godot, but since the release of 4.4, that's the version of Godot, there was a Jolt engine added to it, and that gives us lots of capabilities for 3D, and that was my break out of my comfort zone, to simply put it, just to check out if I would be able to create a game in 3D with Godot. That's my first game with Godot in 3D, as I've made about 2 games that they wasn't released in 2D, and I just want to check out if the 3D in Godot will be good for me. Many people said that I should switch for Unity or Unreal, but for now with Godot, I'm just enjoying the community and that the Godot engine is open sourced, and I simply just have got lots of experience with it, and almost close to none with Unity, and even 0 with Unreal, so that's the plan. Okay, we've got a box, we've got the item, that's the cube, and by placing it here, it should be detected. Oh, and bodies inside, we can see the output that we've got a cube, and the basket to be properly filled, we'll need 3 of those cubes with the names of cube 1, cube 2, and cube 3. And after that, the basket will turn the flag on. Hi, hello. What mechanics are you making now? I'm trying to create the logic to place some items inside of this mailbox. And when you place it here, I will try to... Yeah, there is no collision for the door yet. Still in the progress. Yeah. And when you fill the mailbox, the stuff in here, some logic will be attached to it, as is the horror game. But I just need to create some trigger for the player. That my character inside the game will be forced to gather some items and put them here. That's just one of many ways that I want to scare the player. Okay, so we've got this cube and the logic still works as I did it a few weeks ago. And I'm just trying to remember stuff that I did previously. Okay, we've got it here. So let me check if the assets are not really finished, but let's improvise for now. Let's make it a bigger. Or maybe, you know what, I'll just for now take the basket to fill and we'll make them, we won't need them. And let's take only the area 3D, that's the thing that will detect the cubes. Okay, we've got the area 3D. And let's place it here. Maybe we can even rotate it just a bit. Okay, and let's place it. God damn. Okay. We'll make it beautiful later on. for now, let's leave it just like that for debugging purposes, and let's go and see if it actually is doing something. Okay, here. God damn. Yeah, the cube is too big. Maybe let's just push it down. Oh, yep. It touched the area 3D, and we've got that the bodies inside is cube, and we've got nothing because it fall off the area, or maybe there is something weird going on because it did not fall. Yeah, I believe that. Maybe I pushed it too hard inside this object. Yeah, I can see the colliders that they are all red. Maybe let's just make the cube something that's less. Or maybe we could even change it to the circle. Okay. For now, let's. Where is the transform? The scale, or maybe inside the main. Do not destroy the cube itself. Let's make it a half. That looks so pointy. You change it later. From the far away, it looks very pointy, but when you get close to it, it should get smoother. Yeah. I'll also try to smooth it later on. For now, it's just to see the whole terrain as it should be shaped. It's also the one texture for now. We can paint it later. Just trying to do a game that has some logic first, and later I'll try to make it beautiful. Because with the things that can live inside of the game, it won't be even playable. So the gameplay first, and later I'll try to make it beautiful. From this end, it doesn't look good. Yeah, but there is a way for it. That's just the debugger. And I believe if you run the game, that your character, even if it can, okay, they are still pointy, even if you just run it. But the plan is for me to inside my, where is it? It's here. It's the directional light 3D, okay. And here should be fog. Let me quickly find the checkbox to turn the fog on, because I just simply want to add the fog, and for now, oh, it should be here. Volumetric fog. Okay, let me show you this one. I've made it that the player won't be able to see too far off, and with it, it looks very decent, at least in my opinion. But I'm just turning it off for the debugging purposes when I'm creating inside my game and I'm putting assets and so on. I don't want to deal with the fog. Please let me know if that's better in your opinion. Because it makes it at least 20% better. That's just my honest opinion about it. Okay, let's turn on the game. And I'll show you that from the character's perspective. Yeah. There is a water shader. And the general idea is that later inside the game, when you progress with the story, that water level will be pumped out of the cave, and it will unlock later parts of the game, like for example this side, because you can't swim inside the game. So in day 3 or maybe day 4 inside the game, you will be able to cross over to the other side of the cave, and even below, as there are multiple levels to that cave. Thank you for your approval. Thanks. Okay. Let's get back up. And let's get back to, yeah, let me quickly turn off the fog. And in here we've got a box. Okay, we should check if the box will fit inside the mailbox. The box, the small cube. I still need to fill the gaps, because when you add assets, that will get cut inside the side of the terrain 3D. You need to create a hole and fill the gaps with some objects. Like retro, yeah, maybe like an, what's the general idea? To put it simply, an old facility with some rusted pipes and things like that. Okay, and the box is inside. There's something wrong with the collider as it falls through the ground. It's weird. Okay, but anyway, I know that the detection system works properly. And where is that? What do we even have here? Sketching overridden by physics. Oh, yeah. That's it, because we should change it in the different way. So let's get it back to 1.1, okay, 1.0. If it's arrived, yeah. Maybe you know the game with the title SCP. That's the, maybe that's not the general idea, but the atmosphere that will be in it will be something similar to that, but more with an old facility that is abandoned and so on. I will add some more assets with the apartments above this one, the slab, and there will be an elevator to it. It's going to be a story-driven horror game where you will have to, someone will force you to make some tasks, do some task over your day, and you will progress with that to the next day, and something will happen. I've got the story inside my head and I don't want to spoil it too much. Maybe later on. Okay. Later here we'll need to add some pumps and we'll pump out the water. But for now let's leave it. I plan to add some doors. But we've got the issue with the size of them, and they are not placed in a good way, and there are small gaps between the ceiling and the floor. Okay, that's the general idea. Is there any granny or story like? For now I don't plan to add any physical monster or the enemy. It will be simply a story driven. Of course there will be some monsters, yeah, that's obvious, but they won't simply run towards you like you should just run from them and things like that. I plan to make them more like an event rather than a monster that will follow you and you need to get out, like in, what was that game when you have to collect the pages? The Slenderman. Yeah, that's the old one. That's the classic. Okay. So in here, we've got the building, we've got the area and the basket. Let me take a quick look at what we can do next. I was planning to add some lighting inside the initial tunnel, but maybe let's not add that yet. The Picard logic is alright. Maybe let's just simply improve it. We've got the player interact, and in here we've got the velocity. So for now, Troy says, okay, the pull force 10. The linear velocity. Okay, rotation. quickly, when I get to the player, and when I get to 3D, if I slightly change the raycast, like it should be placing here. Oh, maybe before that, let's get the cube closer to our player. Otherwise, we will be forced to walk every time to get it. Okay. The raycast is way farther. God damn, that's not over it. Oh. Yeah, before I grab it, there is the box is on my collision, so whenever I step on it, some crazy things will happen. Okay. Glad to know that. Let's fix the player. The raycast and the grab target. Yeah, that's the thing I was looking for. And let's run the project. As it should be, whenever we grab it, it should be way closer to our head. Yeah, that's it. Maybe let's even make it a bit closer. Is there any many tutorials on YouTube? In the building, how did you learn GDscript? Ah, in the beginning. About the GDscript. I'm a guy who wants to learn everything by myself, and I simply learn it on internet. As you can see on my channel, I've got lots of tutorials about 2D. And that's the way that I've teach myself, that I've learned myself. Teach, stop. I just wanted to make some game, and I turned on the Godot, and I was looking for what I will need. Like, for example, I want to create a grab mechanic. So, what's the plan? What the nodes I should use? What things I could make to make it simpler? Or maybe if the code that I'm using is from the older version, like for example Godot 3 point something, I wanted to create something that will work on 4.4 or even smaller. I started with Godot when it was in the state of 4.1, I guess. Yeah, something like that. And it was about 2 years ago. And I still feel way better whenever it comes to 2D. But in 3D, I almost don't know anything. And I'm still learning. So, don't be hard on me with 3D. If it would be a 2D game, yeah, the things should be way easier. But I wanted to challenge myself and learn something new. So, with the documentation and tutorials on YouTube, that's the way that I used for my learning process. This is still way too far. Okay, let's check. Let it be. I believe that we've reached the point that we should. Okay, the raycast and the grab. We've got the grab. There is a grab target. Where is that grab target? Because it places it in the grab. Okay, we've got the grab target here. And what we do with it? We don't do anything with it. That's not good. Is the grab target used for anything else? Oh, I believe that the grab target was used for grabbing the door with the previous mechanic where I use physics to grab it and move it with my camera. So the grab target won't be useful for us. You don't have the feeling what I'm supposed to do now. Not exactly, because that's the tricky part. When you have that when you think about your dream game, and maybe not the dream game, a game that you would like to create, and you make it simpler and simpler and simpler, and with every step you reach to the point where your game is simple enough that it has jumping logic, moving left to right, and collecting items, collecting coins, for example. And when it's very, very simplified, then you try to make it and you progressively learn. And after a year or maybe or two, when you've got more experience and you've got the resources and time to create something cooler, then let's improve on top of it. Maybe not from this exact project that you did for the first time, but maybe start from the scratch and create the game that will represent better your dream game. Yeah, there will be some pauses in your process. Like, for example, you won't know what to do next, but in those times, I just simply sit on my chair and think what else I could do with my game. Just simply what else the player will be interested in. I've got the story inside my head already, at least the 50 or 30%. At least the 50 or 30% what I should make, and that's enough for me to start the project. And based on that, I'll create, and later I'll simply add some items and think about what stuff I should put next. But I've got that at least backlog of 10 or 15 tasks that I should make. The backlog with tasks. Okay, just quickly let me get back to the Twitch, because there is something wrong and I know what I have to do. Okay. Because when you're small on Twitch, the only viewers you've got are the bots. So quickly ban. Yeah, one more bot to ban and we can get back to the game. And that grab target, I'm not happy with that. This action press, that's the key L shift. Let me take a look where do we use that L shift. No, not the L shift, not the L shift, but it should be key L. Nope. Mouse L, yeah. Mouse L. And we use it here in the player. That's the interact with door. Let's quickly comment that out because we won't use that logic for now. Interact with door. You don't need that. And just for me to get my life easier, let me comment them out, because otherwise I will simply get lost inside the logic that I don't even use. Okay, and here is the logic to drop in the item. And if the hit is pickable, yeah, because we've got the group that it's pickable, and that way we can use the mouse L button to hold them. And that hold object, that's global transition origin. Just let me quickly think. Why don't you use the export variable? Sometimes I use and sometimes don't. It's just a preference. Okay, let me quickly think about this one. Is action just released? Okay. The hand. Okay, so where is my hand? My hand is here. Yep, that's it. That's exactly it. What I was looking for. Because I was thinking about the grab target as the name suits better. But that grab target, I don't use it anymore. And instead of that, I've got node called hand. And that hand is my grab target. Let's leave it like that with the name hand. I just wanted to place the item that my player will be holding closer to the player. Yeah, just like that. And whenever you unclick the or unhold the mouse button, the item simply gets, whoa, not like that, please stop. Simply gets thrown, yeah, pushed further. Or maybe it gets dropped. I was adding the logic to push it further, but I bet it was in the previous build, yeah. And I guess that I just removed it. Oh, and there's something wrong with the collision here inside the lab. When I dropped it on the concrete, the collision was doing fine. Yeah, at least it's doing fine here on Terrain 3D. Yeah, it's great. And in here, is it also? It's okay as more than half of the cube stands out of the ground. But whenever I place it here, yeah. The half of the cube gets swollen by my floor inside the lab. Yeah, even more than a half. You should make some simple challenge videos to grow subscriber. On this channel, I simply plan to add more tutorials for 2D or maybe 3D in the future. But for now, I'm just making a game and having fun, as I was doing the same thing but without the stream. I'm not really into growing the subscriber base on this channel, as I'm doing the same thing on Twitch, and I will try to cut some content out of those lives and maybe create edited versions of those videos for later use. Like, for example, what we did in the previous week inside my game, the compilation from, I don't know, 10 hours of stream into a 8 or 7 minutes video. That would be cool. And it won't be on this channel, as this channel is mainly for tutorials and maybe for live streams. We'll see about that. Maybe I'll try to separate them later. Okay, let me check if everything's alright on Twitch, as there are some warnings that the live is unstable, and I don't believe that. It's doing fine, at least in my preview. Okay, great. And YouTube says it's excellent, and I'm glad. Okay, great. We've got the hand. Oh, and again, another stream, and also I forgot to mention mention on my Discord that we've already started. Oh, my Autobot did mention that for me. Yeah, the Sapphire bot. Great. If you'd like to join, the link is in the description. Not a lot of going on here, but simply maybe somewhere in the future. Okay, we've got that. We just cleared a few functions from my code, and great. Let's say pickable. Okay, what else could we do? Showing weakening force. Okay, let's leave it. The collisions. I would love to make a mechanic for the pump. Okay, maybe let's do it? Maybe let's do something unplanned for today. And whenever we click our character, we'll click on a box here, the water level will fall down. So let's add another scene. Here, let's create a mesh. Let me take a quick look at my basket to fill. Let's add child node and mesh. Just make some simple changes. You add hands. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that. Maybe somewhere in the future, but that's not very common in the horrors that I play. People just forget about the hands, and it's when you've got when you can see your fingers on the edges of the screen while you're playing the game. I believe it's just putting you out of that atmosphere that horror can create, and I believe that making only the screen for your eyes could be a bit more atmospheric for the player, at least inside the horror game. I know that in the Amnesia you could simply you could always see your hand with the lamp, and it was like that, and after 2 hours it was so annoying to play. But whenever you pick up some item, you could see it in front of your eyes, and your character did not touch it or anything. It just simply fly over your face like it's doing in my game. But your hand in Amnesia was always on the screen. It was so dumb. Like when picking up any item, it looks like the player doing magic. Yeah, exactly. But yep, that's it. Yeah, I can confirm that. Yeah, but the mechanic inside the horror game for grabbing items like that is pretty common, I guess. I believe it was in Penumbra, in Amnesia. What games else? But it was inside of a few other games I could think of. Yeah, it's almost like magic, but player is simply adjusted to it, and when you can see your hands simply when you walk inside a horror game, it's getting annoying. Okay, we've got that, and let's create a mesh. That will be not this one, but let's make a box mesh for now. I need to change it here. Okay, that will be my generator, or the pump that will pump out the water from the cave. Later we'll add some pipes, but for now let's add it simply to the scenes. It's not the add that basket. Okay, if the basket is here, I'll add the what we should call that, a pump. Yeah, let's call that pump. Okay, and also here, let's call it a pump. So basket is okay. Let's leave it. And in here, we got it. And whenever our player, it's not inside the scenes, but it should be inside, not the scenes, the script. Pcam player, yep, the pump. Yes, the player mostly walks, so you can just hide it. Yeah. You can simply just hide it, but in my game there is already the logic for the lighting system. Maybe it's not very visible for now because there is some light, but it will be very, very dark. And when I click the F key, you've got a simple light. And I believe just simply if your head is wobbling, that should be enough for the player controller. I'm not sure if you should put some hands on the screen for now. I leave it for me in the future. Whenever the game will be somewhere close to the demo version, maybe we'll think about that later on. Okay, that's it here. Look at the process. Okay, and let me take a quick look at my player interact. Is colliding, and we will have another. That's the door. That's the door. Okay, and we've got the bump. So whenever we are colliding with our raycast with something called bump, and we press an E key, let's print bump. It's not the mining place, it's more like an old facility where there were some crazy experiments and things like that. I think that story should be more intriguing than the old mine. Okay. Oh, we don't have any colliders, so let's add it quickly. Collision shape, 3D, okay. Should not make it like that. Should create a static body, right? Let me know your opinion. Maybe the mine could be better. Please let me know what do you think about that idea. I didn't share that with many people, so maybe I'm in the wrong. Okay, and in the meantime, I'll create some colliders. Collision shape 3D. Okay, and we need some box. And that box should be 2 meters. Okay, we got it. And here in the main, we'll have, let's add at the main the pump. Where's my pump? Come on here, buddy. I should scale it like everything else. 3 times. Okay, and our character, simply by clicking on it, will trigger some logic. But for now, let's check if it actually will work. Yeah, an old facility with some crazy experiments beneath the ground. There will be a sphere on top of it, so our player won't be able to see the lighting. Maybe not the sun, but the lighting, there will be some lighting from things like lanterns and so on. It should be based on how the player get there here. Yes, and okay, before that, let me show you something. Here is the initial tunnel. What's the plan for the beginning of the game? Let me just quickly show you. And the plan is that there is a tunnel, and the tunnel will be way longer. And there will be a room. The room with the elevator. And the game will start, at least that's the initial idea, inside when you're in the elevator, slowly descending down below the surface. And there will be someone who will contact you and tell you about the story or what your plan is, what you will be doing in this facility. So the initial place that you spawn will be an elevator, and everything will be, some things will be shown to you and some things will be told by some guy. And that guy will be your boss. But for now, I'll try to leave some mystery into it. Okay, but even though we didn't see anything that the pump is not working. Okay, let's get over there. The jumping is simply for the debugging purposes, and I'm not using it very often, and later on I'll just simply remove it. Okay, the collision is here, and I'm clicking E on the keyboard. It's not doing anything. Hit the name pump, and the name of it is pump. Collision print hit dot name. Okay, that's the terrain. Okay, we'll print everything that our raycast will collide with. Oh, the sense is manipulated. I want to explain. Maybe not that simple. not that simple to explain on a single stream. I plan to make it a bit more complicated. There will be some work to do. It will be more like a job to our main character. Okay, so we've got the terrain, and when you get over here, it's the static body 3D. And the static body 3D, that's the name. And the door, because that's the name here. Okay, so I need to call it here pump. Okay, we can print it. We can hide it with the comment. And let's get back. Need to experiment on them. That's not the bad idea though. Okay, you're here, and when we click, pump clicked. Okay, we've got the detection for it. Awesome. And what should happen whenever we click on it? The surface of our water should go down, the level of the water. If we casting where the player is I have a lot of that. Interesting idea. Let me tell you that. That's the interesting idea. Maybe not so dramatic, but I think about that the main character will be the boss will not tell you the full story about the job that the main character will be forced to do. Yeah. The story is still on the whiteboard, and I can fix that in any time, but I guess that the idea that I have inside my head will only slightly get changed, but I can get almost any interesting idea and put it inside the game, and that's what's beautiful about making games. In the process of the creation, I have the general idea what should we do and how it should be created, but whenever we can make a small tweak inside the story, that's no problem. That's the game creation, and that's the art of it, and I love it so much. One more viewer. We are not alone. Hello. Glad to see new people here. Okay, let me check on the Twitch if everything's alright. And Twitch says that it is okay. There's something weird on Twitch. Whenever I have bitrate about only 99% of the requirement, it says that it's unstable. But I have placed the exact number of 6,000 inside of my OBS. Okay, weird, but let's leave it like that. Okay, we've got the pump clicked, and what should we do with it? We should grab, maybe we are in the player, and we should have a messenger GDscript that will load on auto load. Okay, a singleton that will connect with other scene, with our main scene, and do something with it, because our player, yeah, it will force a signal to the node. I did create something like that in my previous the previous game, and that's cool. But I would like to copy it, but I don't want to show you the code for my other game, as it's the project there is a bit on the a bit more complex, and maybe not complex. The work over there is a bit more advanced, and I don't want to show the code on the stream for this one, so I'll do it off screen. And for now, I'm just happy with that our player can trigger the pump, and later we'll swap the pump. Yeah, this one with some cool object from Blender whenever my partner will create it. And that way, on the main scene, we'll grab the water surface. Where it is? It's here, water surface. And whenever we will click on it, and this one, we'll make it lower. That should be the first level, and it will happen at the, I don't know, at the day 3 or 2. And the character will be able to walk over on the other side of the cave, and at the later time, after a few days will pass again, we'll drop this level even lower, yeah, to uncover what's beneath, and it should be the ending of my game, as the water is on the ground. I want to connect it with the story. Yep, that's the bottom of my cave. Okay guys, let me check. It's really the basic mechanic, the door. Yeah, I know that, but okay, just let me quickly show you the door, and it's alright, it's doing its job, but there is an issue with it. The door lab, let's add the collision shape, or maybe not. Here is the door. The problem with the door is that the object used for it is not in the right, it's not, the size of it is off, and I'm not, and I don't like to use the assets with the off metrics, because that will force me to again place them inside my building lab. So whenever we add some door, the size of the door will change, and we'll need to adjust it again and again. Yeah, that could be off, but just maybe for this purpose, because you need to add the new inherited. Okay, let's make it just to check if it still works. So the door, that should be in the models, scenes models, door lab, we can save it and overwrite it. And in here, do we have the collision? The door, we do. Let's leave it like that. We could make a simple collision with simple box, because the handle, whoa, that's a weird collision. Okay, but our game won't break just from that, and I'm doing it just to check if it actually works. So here we've got the door, let me quickly add the print what our character will have the eyes on, or the raycast on. Oh, and the music has stopped. And whenever you are on YouTube you should not hear anything. And on Twitch there is a music playing. I just don't want to risk a copyright strike on YouTube with the music. The music should be fine with YouTube, as I just downloaded it from the, what was the name? Let me quickly check. I was also mentioning them on the previous, on the last stream. It was Stream Tunes, and that music should be fine with YouTube and also on Twitch, but I just don't want to risk it on YouTube, just for now. Maybe later. Did you make chambers for the victims? I'm not sure if there will be any victims. Or maybe you meant the monsters. Okay, we still got no collision with it. Let's quickly check why. The door is here. Okay, and inside the main scene, oh, it's not in the main scene, it's in the building. It should be here, okay. Do we even have the collisions with it? Can we go through them? And the experiments. Those experiments will be doing something with monsters. That's what I meant by the experiments. Okay, we still can get through them. Not good, not good. Build in. Okay, because we do have... We've got the wrong door here, I believe. As we should have... Door? What's the name of it? That's the door lab. Okay, that's it. So we will need door lab as the scene. It should be here and here. Okay, and let's check if the collision is working properly. Why not? Let's bring my cube over there. It could be my victim, the cube. Okay. Is a static body. Okay. Still the static body. We'll change the name, but can we go through them? And we cannot. Awesome. So, this door lab is static body. We'll change it to door. Make to a door fit. Will fit big mechanic. Currently the door opens only in one way. I know that in some games you can open them to the both sides. It's a bit weird, but it's still common inside the game. Inside almost any game. Okay. Whoa, and it crashed. Toggle door. In base node 3D. Invalid call. What do we have here? Hit get parent, get parent. Okay, I believe that we could not find the toggle door mechanic, and that's why. Yes, that's the door. And where is the script for it? Door lab. And we should attach. Yeah, we should attach. Where is that script? We should attach the door script to it, as it's not connected for now. Scripts and door. Okay, let's check again. Okay, the collision is working. And again, and invalid call non-existent function toggle door in base node 3D. Just get parent, maybe one get parent too many. I should simply move my character closer to that door. God damn. Okay, and inside the player interact. Let me check. What's that hit? Get parent. This one will comment it. Maybe we don't need this one because there will be thousands and thousands of messages. Okay, let's move over there again. And what do we have? The handle back points. Okay. Handle back. Okay. That's fine. So when we've got this one with the dot, we should get the door lab. And inside the door lab, we can print another time what's going on with the function. Okay, we've got the door lab, and that's the node where we've got our logic for the door, and in here it should toggle door. So let's print, I don't know, door toggled. And in my player interact, we need dot toggle door. And it should not be like that, but simply like that. But it didn't work previously, so I don't think it should this time. But maybe our function will be triggered at least, and we'll find later on what's wrong. Okay. Current animation. Node found. Animation player. Okay, so we are inside. Yeah, door toggled has happened, but the animation, we lack the animation player. Oh frick, did I remove the scene, the door scene? I believe that I could overwrite it. So we've got no animation player for the door, I guess. Yeah, we've got no animation for the door. That's not good. So I did some mistakes today. Okay, let's get back to the scenes. We've got the door. Maybe we still got it. No, it's here. It's the animation player. So let's just copy it. The door, the hinge. Do we have the logic? Ready for animation player. Okay. Let's check. Toggled node. I don't think that by simply copying it, it will trigger. Not the reset, but the open. Yep. there are some X's on it, but on my main door it should work. Am I right? Yep. but the hinge is on the other side. yeah, mistakes were made today. Okay, let's not add this door, and let me quickly, yeah, let's just remove the door lab scene. And where is it? The door lab. Okay, let's remove it. Here we also don't need it, and here we'll connect it with the scene, the door scene, and the door scene is here. There are our doors. Let's just place them a bit closer. Okay. And let's see if they will open, even if the other side will open. It just doesn't matter. Okay. And it does not. I believe it has no collision right now. So let's quickly add the collision to it. Collision shape. And let's make a box. Okay. Here. Okay. Fine, but it should be still under some sort of, let me quickly add it. Why it's not on the origin? What do you mean? In the root scene? Static body. Add it here and below that. The door is inside the building lab scene, as I want to place almost everything from the building lab inside of the building lab. Still doesn't work. But it's inside my building lab. Something weird going on here. Yeah, we've got the hinge, and I get that. Oh, that is just slightly off. Yeah, doesn't really matter. That's because in the Blender, it was saved to GLD file in the Blender with some movement from the original spot, and to fix that I will need to go to the Blender and reset the transformation on the X and Y and Z, and that's why I just wanted to skip the part with the door, as I'm going to sweep it, change it later on. But if we are doing that, let's quickly add it. It's a bit weird. Okay, and we've got the door lab 2 here, as we just, okay, and that's the new inherited. Can we add it like that? No, we can't. We'll have to make another scene from it, I guess. That's the models. Let's make it door lab, okay. And in here create collision shape, but not maybe with the tri-mesh, but simple convex. Nope. Not the best approach. Simplified convex. Yep, let's leave it like that. And in here, in my door scene, I believe this time it should have some collision. So, let's check. Maybe that's the time. And it still does not have any collision. But why is that? As it should have. Handle block. The door lab. Inside my door. We should remove the door mechanic. I mean that it's the door mechanic, I believe it's fine, but the I struggle with the assets to place them where they should be, the colliders and so on. But whenever we be able to target the collider, it should be fine. So for now, let's focus on creating that one. Okay, so we got it here. Let's maybe we've got the hinge. Is that the right door for us? Or maybe let's just add something different. That's the door, and we need to door lab from the models. Yep. Let's add something like that. Recognized. Got it here. And on this scene, as it's placed differently only on. Nah, that's the right spot for it. Let's leave it like that. And in here we've got the collision shape. Should work. Are the layers correctly aligned? Let me quickly make another collision. Let's make it a box again. Okay. And let's try. The issue is that the collider in my main scene, it doesn't even exist. That's the issue. And when it will, yeah. Oh, it does. Great. It does exist. Yep. Great. So we fixed it with our own collider. Awesome. The door toggle not right now. Play interact, and here we should. I believe that the name will be wrong, but let's double check it. Let's move a bit closer. We've got static body. Okay, and what do we have whenever we've got static body? And where is that static body? We'll change the name, and the logic, the mechanic, should work just fine. That's the hit the door. So door. let's check. Static body. It should be door. And it is. And we've got a bug. And that's because we don't have parent. Let's copy this part in here just to check if I'm right. And is this the time that we will be able to open the door? God damn. Non-existing function, but let me check. What was that? The output, that's the hinge. The hinge. Yeah, so one more. You should use the has meta interact. Yeah, that's the condition that could prevent the game from crashing, but it won't open my door. Just to make it simpler. Okay. It works from the other side. Yeah, it's great. And we just need to make the animation better, as the hinge is on the other side and previously it was on the right. And also the collider. Finally, after 30 minutes of debugging. Yep. Okay, so let's close the print, and make it better for me. Okay, in here 3D. So let's fix the collider, and also we need to make the hinge on the other side. Okay, door handle, great, and in here we've got the hinge, and that hinge, where it is, it's in here. Yep. Okay, and whenever I move it up, and right now I should delete just one git parent. And let me see the animation. Okay. And how we could do that? And that's the hinge. Okay, but the issue is that the anchor of the hinge is in the wrong place. But whenever I change it, okay. Should the door be inside of it? Maybe let's just place it somewhere here. That will be a quick fix for the door. Okay, the hinge is in good place. I think I'm making an arcade style game with float polypixel. Starting, what do you think? Yep, you should try, definitely. If you have the time at least to start and put some hours into it, just do it. Even if you won't make it, oh, yeah. Even if you won't make it to the end of your progress, of your process of making this game to final release, it doesn't really matter. You should try anyway. as every project that you create make you a better game developer. And with every project, your knowledge will be bigger and bigger. So, simply just by trying, that will let you at one day create an amazing game that will be able to be released on Steam or any other platform. Where is my building lab? Let's place it here. Yeah. Okay. If you simply have time, then definitely try it out. Okay, they're opening, but they're opening to my face. From this side is alright. Okay, I just leave it like that, and whenever I fix the assets, I will improve the door mechanic, also with the animation, and will try to create it way more beautiful way. As right now it's only for the debugging purposes, as almost everything is in my game. Okay, it's awesome. At least one item that actually works here. Why did you start making game development? There is an inspection. As almost every game developer, I did play lots of games, and my experience about games in general is pretty big. I've played games that really truly triggered something in me, and that thing was to make something that's my own, to make a story inside of a game. That's why I'm not very into creating games without stories, like I don't know, simpler 2D games without any stories are not my thing. And I would like to tell the story to the player, and I guess that's the main motivation. I treat game development like creating a book or creating a movie. And inside that game, I want to tell a story that the player will, or at least I think, could enjoy. That's my main motivation for creating games, as I treat it as, maybe it's a big word, but I treat it as art in some sort of way. Everyone has different reasons, but our backgrounds are very similar. We did play some games and want to create something that other players will enjoy. And remember that here we are game developers and not gamers on this channel, as I'm creating game dev content and not content for gamers. This channel is meant to create content for game developers, to enjoy, to sit around and simply have fun while creating a horror game. And the content for gamers will be whenever I finish this game. That will be the content for gamers. Okay, let's close this one. We've got the door mechanic, and that's pretty awesome. And we've got almost 2 hours on the clock. Let me quickly refresh. Oh, and finally, Twitch is telling me that the live stream quality is excellent, great, and nice. I'm very grateful to Twitch, as it's almost, I believe that's the first time Twitch is telling me that the quality is excellent. An achievement today was made. Okay, that's great. If you want to hang out on my Discord channel, the link is in the description, as I'm streaming almost, I don't know, daily. Yesterday was a stream, and I believe that on the weekend there also will be a stream. I'm streaming at the same time on Twitch and YouTube. I need to place the Twitch link on my YouTube description, as my main platform for streaming will be Twitch. And on YouTube, I'm just testing things out with the stream elements. Okay, let's quickly run the project and let's run around. You should we should turn off this debugging collision effect. Let me quickly turn this off for us. Visible collision shapes. Okay, great. And yeah, there was some progress made today. I still can't believe that we did something productive. As on my streams, it's very hard. Sometimes with even one viewer, you can talk about things and get nothing done just because you're talking and simply running around in your game. But we did something. We did create this pump, and we've got the mechanic to trigger it. Later on, it will be the control mechanism for the water surface, and we should get this back up. Where should it be? Where's my main scene? Yep, it's here. We want to hide this area from the player, at least at the beginning of the game, and later with the use of this pump, at maybe day 3 or 4 inside the game, the player will be able to pump out the water from the cave and move to the other side of this one, the cave. Jump. Yeah, the jumping mechanic is going to stay with me for a while. As whenever I have the issues with the collision, jump underwater. Okay, I can, but we simply will fall through. We can do that. I still need to work on the water shader. Also, the gravity is very low for now, but it doesn't really matter, as the player won't be able to jump in the final game. It's simply for now. And also I need to work on this water shader. Yeah, it's moving, but it's not moving very fast. Water surface. Yeah, it's enough for now. I'll try to make it more transparent. It slightly is transparent. Maybe if we have a second, let's do something with it. As I have the shader here. Yeah, I could make it more transparent and change the albedo. Where do I have the albedo for it? Shade the parameters. I did it last week and I just can't remember where the things are. I need to spend more time developing stuff simply to remember what I have left after a few weeks. Okay, but I believe that's it for today. Thank you very much for staying with me. Thank you for being here for at least an hour. We've talked about a bunch of stuff, and I'm glad for that. And thank you. And I would be glad to invite you for another stream. I believe we should start at the weekend, or maybe even tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see if there will be lots of free time to do something cool tomorrow, as the streams are mostly about an hour or 2. Okay, so in the description you've got the link for the Discord channel. I'm trying to be active there, but it's mostly very silent place. Maybe in the future it will be more crowded, but for now it's very silent and it's only me talking to myself over there. So thank you for being here, and I see you next time. Bye for now.